you are.
Okay. Hold on. I got to start the show off. Hey, all, this is Rick Keys. Rick Keys Music Caravan. We're here in Oceanside, California. The waves breaking in the background. We've got some big waves right now. 7-10 footers here in Oceanside because of the storms. But speaking, we've got Kat Riggins. She just stormed into my show. How you doing, Kat?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm wearing this shirt that says Rick Keys, world famous fireworks. So there is some fireworks going on here. I am announcing the Rick Keys Music Caravan Top Blues Release albums for 2022, and that's why Kat is here. She has I think this is about the third time you've made it to one of my yearly best blues albums. So congratulations again, Kat.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, Kat. Well, so I am holding up your CD Progeny up there. So that's you, nice gold color. So that one has one that you made it for, that one. And apparently it's done pretty well. I think you've got some other nominations for some other things too, right?
Yeah, we had a few other nominations, and we got really close to being on the ballot for the Grammys coming up. Just the opportunity to be in the number, to be considered for a Grammy, that already was like huge for me. So I'm grateful for that alone. But yeah, the album's been doing pretty well. I'm very, very proud of this one, Rick. I got to tell you, I'm really proud of it. I'm so happy that it's being received the way that it is, because it's special to me.
I mean, because I believe we talked before, and you mentioned that I think you were in the choir sometime when you're a younger girl. Yeah. So you got some. In fact, there was 2 or 3 songs about God in there, and I actually put them on my list. So anyway, it is going to be on YouTube now, and if you want to check out the interview, you can go to Rick Keys, Keys, Rick Keys Music Caravan. You can subscribe to it, but you don't have to. I think you can still get it without subscribing. But you should subscribe. But anyway, so look for the one. There's like a Santa Claus there, and that's me going through all the 16 top blues releases for this year, and you are one of them.
I'm so thankful. Thank you. I'm so happy that you dig my stuff, Rick. And you've always been super, super supportive and encouraging and really, really sweet. So I'm so thankful for you and for your for your support and really what you do for the music in general. You know what I mean? Like you're brave enough to play some of the songs that other stations won't touch on.
Yeah, well, basically, when I get music, Kat, I mean, some DJs or music programmers, they only listen or they play the song that someone has succeeded. But I always listen to every song because I figure, hey, these artists have gone out of their way to, in your case, write the music, sing the music, but you've gone out of your way to entertain people. So it behooves me to listen to all of them. And that's how I end up final top blues is I have a criterion, and I explained this to Gina Coleman. Oh, before I forget that. So Gina Coleman told me that you guys have a single together on her new release.
Yeah. She has this song called The Hate. Mm-hmm. And she sent it to me back when she first wrote it. She wrote it as a result of some negative comments that she got on her YouTube page, and it was just some nasty, unnecessary stuff.
Right.
But in response to that, in response to all of that, negativity and all of that nastiness, she came out of it with this like beautiful testament, to the pain that all of that hate causes. And I think it was beautifully written, and her voice is just as deep as the song is, and it just is so rich and gorgeous and powerful. So I'm very proud of her for that, and I'm proud to be a part of it, because it's it's a song, but it's a very necessary song.
Well, she made it to my list also. What a coincidence. And as I said, that's how I found out about this. So I'm looking forward to hearing that song. That'll be cool. And so anyway, Kat, while you're still here, this is how far back I know you from. I probably don't know if I should mention his name, but it starts with the F and ends with an R. So that was the first time I heard your music, and it was Kat Riggins. What's that say? Blues Revival. Was that kind of your first one that came out?
First, like, really, because the very first full project that I recorded between the States and South Korea when I was traveling with this top 40 cover band. And that was like my version. I called it blues fusion. It was like everything that I love with blues, kind of like as the vein underneath. So Blues Revival was my first project that was a little bit more upfront with the element of blues.
Right.
And I think I get bolder with it as I go along. But Blues Revival was my first, I think, my first professional studio project where I was not like singing from somebody's closet, and that was the vocal booth. Yeah.
Well, then you moved on to this one, which I think you were nominated for my award, Kat Riggins Boys Club. That's a sexy picture of you in purple. So so that was when was that one? It was before COVID.
Yeah, that was 2018.
Right, and that was under FR also. And then you guys are in Florida, so Gulf Coast. Is it Gulf Coast?
Yeah, Gulf Coast Records.
Okay, Gulf Coast. So that was Cry Out. That one did really well also. And I think
that's another one that I was really proud of, because I was nervous putting that out, because when we finished the record, nothing had happened. Like that, the whole thing with George Floyd had not yet happened, and then everything started happening all at once, including COVID. So there was some topics that were already on the record that kind of like, I was worried that the timing would just be like a catalyst for more unrest. You know what I mean? I was worried about how people would receive it. But we went ahead and released it, and thank God, we had some people who didn't want to hear some of the things that were said on the record, but for the most part, we were very well received, and I was proud of that too, and relieved.
Yeah, I think that one did real well too. You and Shamikia, you kind of do, you put out topics that are current to people, which is good. That's what blues is supposed to be about. And in fact, nowadays we've got people writing about COVID and isolation. So when we look back at blues from 2020 to 2023, we'll know that, hey, we survived a major pandemic. And, like in the older times, blues artists would talk about whatever, but things that were bad, but they were able to survive. That's kind of what blues are. It's kind of, and
that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah, and that being raised in the church for a while, it's that with blues you kind of have. There's the sinners, like John Lee Hooker, whiskey and women, but then there's the redemption part where they've done this and then they realize, it's time to get to change my lifestyle. So that's blues is kind of it's a wild, can be sad at times, but there's always redemption towards the end, which is I think you're right about that.
I agree, and I feel like exactly what you said. I think it's like any music in general is it's a harmonious of the world,
Right.
and it basically tells the story of evolution. And you can go through the entire timeline of civilization just by listening to the music that was written during those times. Blues, it is specifically raw and authentic and unfiltered in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I feel like the blues is placed in that around that table of truth telling and about telling the history of the world. The blues is an art form that will specifically tell the truth and without too much sugarcoating. You know what I mean? The blues is going to kind of cut to the point. It's because it is so raw and it is so upfront, and that's that I love about it, because it's something that it confuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
it's all it is.
Well, what's good is like for you, because I think you wrote most of these songs on here. It's your actual soul coming out, and you're expressing it because you're fortunate to have a great voice and talent. So, yeah, and I kind of put you up there, Kat, with some of the top blues vocalists at the moment. I mean, so I mean.
Take it. I'll take it. Thank you.
There's a lot of
it really is. I'm so happy to hear you say that, and it means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Because I know you hear a lot of music.
Yeah.
And to be likened to somebody it loves so much, like Shamika, that to me is, it's part of the confirmation for me for why I do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the first time I heard Gina and Misty Blues, and I go, wow, she is really good. She's got a voice. And then there's some other ones coming out too. Deb Ryder, she's here in LA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got some ladies that are, they have the voices like the legends from the past, the Coco Taylors and all that.
Preach.
Yeah, so that's good. But anyway, here's this one again, a beautiful picture of you in gold. And let me before you leave, I know you're probably busy. Let me tell you some of the other people of my 16. I didn't get as many as I normally get this year, but I did get 16 that I chose. So Misty Blues was one. You're up there with her. Johnny Sansone, you probably heard of him.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard of this guy. I just heard his music. Kurt Allen. John Primer. I saw John Primer at Humphreys backstage.
I love John Primer.
Yeah.
John Primer is like, I call him sir, but he's such a sweetheart every time we cross paths.
Yeah, so he's one. I'd never heard him, and I found his, and I actually saw him with Bob Corratore at Humphreys backstage. Yeah. I don't know if you heard of Brandon Hudspeth.
No.
Okay, well, he's got a group called Levy Town. Albert Castiglia, of course, made it. You made it. Dion. Did you hear Dion's album?
No.
Oh, you got to check it out. So Dion is the same Dion from the 50s. He was the 50s like rock and roll guy way back when, but he's still pumping out music, and he joined up with all these people like Joe Bonamassa and a whole host of people. But now it's really good. Anyway, and then some kind of I got Sugar Ray Rayford on there. He's actually been here to San Diego a couple times. So, hey, well, yeah, check with your bookers, and the next time you come to California, or you're thinking about it, I can probably help you guys with maybe getting the Humphreys backstage. But you heard of Cadillac Zach up in LA, right?
Yeah, I've heard that name.
Okay, well, Cadillac Zach does a lot of shows, and so if we can get you here to San Diego, then we can probably maybe hook up something for LA with him. But yeah, I don't think you've ever been out here, have you?
I have not, and I've been packed to come to California, so I got close with the Bender, but just a few miles away, but not there yet. So I will forward that message over to the guys and girls at Intrepid And if we get something in that area, you'll be the first to know.
Okay. Also in San Diego, well, they used to have a San Diego Blues Fest, but the guy who'd been doing it, he decided not to do it. So we kind of lost that one. That was a big one where we got blues. But they do have a legendary blues cruise that takes off from San Diego. So that's something else. And, maybe when you come back from that, you can play Humphreys and then go up to LA and make a week or two. Well, it's a week just on the boat. So
yeah, that sounds like a plan to me.
But what's cool about that, Kat, is that's all paid for. So your room, your food, your everything. And so yeah, check into that one too. You have one down in Florida. That's like
Yeah, I've been on that one in Florida. It's amazing. It's a crazy experience.
Yeah. So anyway, they have one here. But anyway, again,
Cool.
Kat, I love your music, and make sure I keep getting it.
Absolutely. I thank you so much. Really, thank you for taking the time to talk with me today.
Okay, Kat. Hey, good luck in the future too.
Thank you, darling. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's Kat Riggins. Always a pleasure speaking with her. So stay tuned. We're almost done. Keys Music Caravan's top blues albums for 2022.